Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are here with the first episode of 1899. It is time. We've been waiting for this one for quite some time. This, of course, my most anticipated series of the year. It's finally here. One of the most fascinating thing I've noticed, and well, the same for 1899 as it was with Dark itself. I think you were able to avoid a lot of spoilers each season of Dark, because for the most part, going in, even if you did know what was coming, you didn't understand anything at all. And I'm realizing it's the same thing with 1899. We've seen a teaser trailer and we've seen a full trailer and some set footage, but we have absolutely no idea what the hell is going on. So still very much a mystery. We of course know it will have something to do with the Bermuda Triangle because we've seen the symbols and so on in the trailers, but outside of that, I'm not sure. The writers have they have said that they don't want to tread the same grounds they did with Dark and using time travel. So I'm curious to know how exactly this story will unfold. My suspicion is that it will be a bit more psychological, than supernatural or more sci-fi. So that's my theory so far. So I am very curious to see how far this will actually go. I don't recall if they did say. I know they had said that, and I believe the writers typically do have the entirety of the seasons or the series, determined in terms of how many seasons it will actually have. I don't remember if they had said for this specific, or they probably didn't, but I'm sure they have something like that in mind. And I wonder if it is that we're going to be on the ship for the entire duration of the series as a whole, or for the season and then we change location. And one of the things that I was more excited about for this series is actually the different characters, but the different languages and so on that will be used, and I'm quite interested in that, and because the writers seem to have a passion for that specifically. Having heard them speak about it, very very early on in the project. And I'm also happy to see that they didn't have to push this back, because to be honest, I was fully expecting them to push this release back to next year, because production of this on this started as we were coming out of COVID, and a lot of TV shows and movies have had to push their release back. But happy to see that they've not had to do that, and they were still able to meet the date. But man, it's not as though we've been getting a lot of stuff on streaming, right across the board, from Disney Plus to Netflix, Apple, Amazon, and so on. But it's almost as if we've been inundated with all the same things over and over again, and it's rare to have something that is quite apart from all of that. Of course, the comic book TV shows and all that is kind of dominated the streaming services as of late, and there are other genres as well, but it all feels a bit samey, and you don't get as unique of an experience that you otherwise like. And Dark did that during its time, and I'm hoping that 1899 will do that as well. So let's check it out.
The brain is wider than the sky. But put them side by side. The one the other will contain.
I wonder, is that an excerpt from some literature, or?
It's deeper than the sea.
I get the impression it's going to be very important. Oh.
Blue to blue. The one the other will absorb. As sponges buckets do.
Interesting. father.
I know what I see. I'm not crazy.
All right, I did say, you know, I think it's going to be more psychological. Perhaps I was right. I swear, every show or film that that actor is in, he plays someone quite creepy. Okay, so she was being bound. Yeah, Prometheus isn't the ship that we'll be on, right? I think that's called something else. But the name does have relevance. So another ship that had disappeared, I'm assuming. Okay, so her brother disappeared and he was on the Prometheus. So she escaped the asylum. She still has a mark on her wrist where she was being restrained. And they're still fresh, so trust no one. The score, man. It's funny. I heard it in the teaser trailer that they did. I don't think it was in the last official trailer. But they're already doing a fantastic job with that. Alright, the crewmen.
Fuck me, not again. Wait, Polak!
Alright, he's gonna be
Climb
important.
up, fix it.
I think he's the guy that was in the photo. I think that, or he's our first victim. Who knows? Statue of Liberty. Okay, that wasn't creepy at all. Polak. A geisha. Yeah. These are the pair from the photos. It's interesting, you know, to see how well they're doing here while the crewmen are down below.
What a wretch. See you up here so early. May I?
She didn't even wait for a response. What if I didn't want you to sit beside me?
Is it true that you're a doctor?
The focus is on the human brain.
They let you cut up brains.
Women in England are allowed to study, not practice.
Yeah.
That's what they do, don't they? They show you the world.
I get a feeling she's going to be very fascinating. I said that from the very, photos that were initially released.
His father was a doctor, and so was his father, and so on and so on. Born a boy, a small city.
That it does. Also true.
Why do you think they were here? Nervous wreck of a priest and his horny-looking brother.
Oh, they're brothers.
Birdie
Okay.
there with her sheep and a servant. Running away from something. Why else?
But
would
towards
someone
what?
do something different?
What are you running away from? I don't think you're any different from the other people here. Okay. That was eerie. I haven't seen the captain yet on Andre Peachman.
En læge. Det er min søster. En doktor. En doktor.
Just said there are several doctors here, and come on, man, stand up, help.
Jeg beder. Du ved ikke, hvad vi skal gøre. Jeg beder jer. Jeg beder jer.
I gør det, jeg beder jer! Jeg beder jer! Jeg bruger for en doktor! Slet mig! Stop!
How dare you disrupt these high-class people having their meal? I'm gonna hate this man. I already know I'm gonna hate him. What are they doing to What are they gonna do to him? Throw him overboard? Oh, okay. No.
Das nächste Mal schmeiß ich dich über Bord. Verstanden?
Doesn't belong up here. Yeah. Separating them from the rest of the crew. They didn't bother to lock it. He said you wanted help.
Stop! You were looking for a doctor.
I mean, she said she studied like neurology. I'm not sure that applies here, depending on what's wrong with the girl. But yeah, so the ship is divided, you know, between the higher class above and those
How long have you been with Joe?
poorer people, which I also predicted.
Nej. Det er helt forkert. Vi ved ikke, hvem hun er eller hvad hun er. Du må gøre noget.
They need help. The kid understands her.
Jeg tror, hun vil vende babyen.
Nej, det er forkert. Så gør du noget. Hun kommer til at slå det ihjel. Det er Guds barn.
Oh, right. Very religious. God is not going to help you right now, right? You need a professional. That can't have been easy. To turn it up. Seems to no longer be in pain. Thank you. Okay, I mean, she understood him when he came down asking for help, so she must clearly speak the language, but the little girl was doing the translation for her, unless she just got bits and pieces of it. Our other character from the photos. That's what he heard. That's what Polak heard. But he's not traveling with the rest of the crew. Definitely going to stick out, you know, being a black man in this period. Looks like he's a stowaway. Oh, where the husband and the wife, right? We met them earlier. Hey, don't blame her, buddy. Yeah, her earrings also the symbol. It's everywhere.
Peut-être que si t'aidais un peu, au lieu de rester planté là, sans bouger, et faire la morte.
She's just not into you.
Tes parents sont plus là, alors c'est bon. Tu m'aimes pas, tu m'as jamais aimé.
And if you need that, why did you marry her?
Tu peux arrêter de faire semblant.
She's not pretending. Obviously, she's not pretending. If she's not reciprocating, she's not pretending. It's clear she has no affections for you. I think it was our stowaway that I had guessed. Could be absolutely wrong. Ah, finally. I was wondering when he would show up.
Haben Sie sich verlaufen?
Hello,
I
Captain.
didn't see you there.
I'm assuming he's the captain. The drinking problem. He was such a fantastic actor in Dark. All the acting in that series were phenomenal, but you know, him especially, he was a huge standout.
What were you doing down there?
English is pretty good. I've never heard him speak English before.
Passengers from first class aren't allowed down there.
Captain, Sie sollten das besser sehen.
Okay. Missing ship?
Kommt von dem vermissten Schiff.
Yeah.
Der
From the
Prometheus.
Prometheus. Also what she's been looking for. What does all this have to do with her father, though? I don't know. Alright, not far off.
Wenn Sie vor 4 Monaten vom Kurs abgekommen sind, dann hätte die Strömung Sie nach Norden treiben müssen und nicht nach Süden. Ungefähr 7 Stunden.
Wir ändern den Kurs.
Nice.
Neues Ziel,
Gonna help.
42,4 Nord, 44,57.
Not a great idea, but hey, we need a series. Right? He doesn't seem too delighted about that decision. And I'm guessing the elite passengers won't feel the same way.
¿Crees que sería mejor no llamar tanto la atención?
I don't care about helping anyone.
¿Sabes cuál es la gran diferencia entre tú y yo, querido hermano? Que yo no tengo miedo. Y a ti el miedo te consume. ¿Por qué no charlas un ratito con Dios?
Okay, I'm clearly not going to like him as well. And I can feel the ship turning. Everyone seems to have a secret and in a hurry to get to their destination.
No seas idiota porque va a virar el barco. ¡Joder, el puto barco está girando!
What are they running away from? This child seems to be very perceptive. Yeah, mom and dad seem to be very, very devout. Which I also called. Man, I'm getting a few things right from that initial set photo that was released.
What is lost will be found.
And there it is. What is lost will be found. We have our quote. That will be the 1899 theme. What is lost will be found. Okay, Captain has a drinking problem. Okay, he had a family. I'm guessing they're no longer with us. Hence the bottle, perhaps. The people here tend to have a tendency of asking questions and then, responding before getting or reacting before getting a response. She asks to step inside and she goes inside before he says yes or no. There it is again. It's the very same thing. So he lost someone on the ship as well. So I do wonder whether his family was on that ship, and whether that is why he's so motivated to help them, and it's not so much out of the goodness of his heart as he's trying to find what he lost.
Mrs. Wilson.
No, they know each
I saw
other.
you talking together at breakfast. I thought I made myself clear. No talking. Yes, madam.
Oh, okay. Interesting. What's her relation? Calls her mistress, so does she work for her?
And tell that one to cheer up a little.
That one. Alright, I mean, she's a geisha, so I'm guessing that she's taking her to a client. Let's put it that way. It's interesting because she speaks about, women and not having an equal opportunity, yet she
6 hours
appears
ago,
to
we
be
received a
selling
message.
this woman to to
Coordinates
men.
southwest of our course. We believe this message comes from the Prometheus, the ship that went missing a couple of months ago.
Believe.
The message said
Just that. The location.
they didn't identify themselves as the Prometheus. Nor did they say they were in need of any help.
Been 4 months. I think they would need help.
The Prometheus carried 1,423 passengers. Some of them might still be alive.
After 4 months.
All right. Clearly, she has a vested interest in getting to the destination that she wants to. Same for many of the other passengers.
My brother and I and all these people, we paid good money for this trip. 7 days to get to New York, no detours.
No, there's a detour. What are you gonna do about it? Everyone has a motivation here, even the captain himself. So relax, man. It's not as if they're turning the ship around. All right, it's gonna take a while to get everyone's name. I don't think we've gotten the captain's name as yet. I remember Polak. We haven't gotten the stowaway's name. Clothes makes all the difference. I guess he assumes that he's with one of the passengers.
Je vais pas te faire de mal. C'est fort.
Well, he's definitely just gave himself away as not one of the passengers.
Moi, Jerome.
Alright, so we've gotten his name, Jerome. What language are they speaking?
Oleg.
I need to find this all out. Okay. Name of the ship, Cerberus. Cerberus, right? Interesting name for the ship. Alright, they found it. No one on deck.
Wir sollten auf unseren Kurs zurückkehren. Sobald wir Funkkontakt haben, geben wir die Position an die Reederei durch. Das ist deren Angelegenheit, nicht
Wir
unsere.
lassen ein Beiboot runter.
Aber das ist kompletter Irrsinn. Wir sollten zuerst die Reederei kontaktieren.
Is it because they're superstitious or because they know something?
Das ist gegen die Vorschrift. Sie haben das Kommando über das Schiff. Sie können nicht...
You might need a doctor.
You have your orders. Okay, good argument.
Captain? Sollten wir den Priester nicht auch mitnehmen?
Why?
Keine Ahnung, was uns drüben erwartet. Und
I guess. Oh, so he's not really a priest.
Padre Ramiro.
So not really a
Have
priest.
been missing for 4 months. I don't know how many passengers are still alive, what they've gone through. And I'm sure it will comfort them to see you.
Oh, all right, sheep. Let's go. Oh.
Ja. Bist du neu? Ich kenne dich nicht. Du weißt, die Besatzung hat hier draußen nichts zu suchen.
Is he gonna help him or, you know?
warum brennt da drüben kein einziges Licht?
Oh, that's what you're gonna find
dann
out.
Du. Wie ist dein Name?
Oleg.
Alright, Alec, I guess we're going. I mean, what's our stowaway's name? I've already forgotten his name. Oh, is it Jerome? He's like, I'm just trying to get to the destination. You're taking me to a creepy ship. Good thing is, you know, they've found use for him, so, you know, they won't suspect that he wasn't, you know, that he's stowing away.
Yeah, right.
Oh. I don't see him dealing with people from the lower decks. Let's see whether I'm proven wrong or right. Okay.
¿Qué? ¿Ya no lo quieres?
Have to smoke it first, creep?
Es extraño, pero esa cicatriz.
Yeah, he's an asshole and creepy.
Casi diría que te favorece.
Yeah. Very creepy. You've never seen him before. Oh, what does rank have to do with anything here? We did see a kid in the trailer, a little boy. I'm not sure if it's her brother or not. I suspect it's her brother, but he's not on this ship, so I'm guessing they are going to find some people, but those people may just be different or changed. Or that's not the ship. No one so far. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. There are no bodies, nothing, but there are no bodies, nothing. So what happened to everyone? Why hide it? Maybe something. Yeah, I'm suspecting now that his family did disappear on this ship as well. Maybe that belonged to one of them. I thought maybe his family died at sea at some other point, but it's looking more and more like, you know, they were on that ship that disappeared. What was her fate? Practice her Japanese. But she's not Japanese. Just pretending to be. Things we do to survive. Oh, the ship doesn't look like it's in great condition. I mean, I know it's been 4 months, but
Someone destroyed the telegraph.
So how did you receive that message? Okay. did you get all the way up there? Okay, you can't see his face clearly. I mean, looks like Oleg, but I don't think he is. Oleg is still on the ship. It's locked from the outside. Is that the boy? The missing boy? He's the only survivor. And why was he locked away? And where is everyone else? Yep, there he is. The creepy kid. How did he survive in there for 4 months? Why did they put you in there? It's getting interesting. Go ask Alice when she's little. Okay. That's useful. Alright, so definitely a different character. On 013. She didn't have a reaction, so maybe it's not her brother. Okay. Here's this magic pyramid that you need to solve. Alright. Our first episode of 1899. That was an amazing first episode. You know, just immediately you're thrown into this mystery that can span, I don't know how many seasons. I have faith in the writers enough, you know, to tell a strong, tight, you know, story. I don't know. You know, are we gonna be spending the duration of, you know, the entire season on this ship? There's so many mysteries. So, all right, just to start from the very beginning, there are a lot of names and I've not, you know, remembered all of them as yet. I'm sure I'll get it, you know, as the series, you know, the season progresses. But we initially started off following Mara, and the very opening scene was with her having a memory of her father, who I believe was that character from Game of Thrones, the one at the end. Forget was he a maester? I think perhaps the one that created the mountain zombie, whatever his name is. Yeah, he's very good in those roles where he's really playing some very creepy character. And he's supposedly her father. She said something about her brother and finding out what was being done on this ship. So she's familiar with, you know, some of the things that are happening. I'm not sure exactly how that ties to her father and her brother. I thought this kid that they found was her brother, but given her reaction to him, I don't believe he is. Yeah, and you know, judging from the letter that she got from her brother, perhaps not. Her brother might be older than her. But clearly she was in a mental institution. We're not clear yet whether, you know, for a moment there I thought the initial opening scene was in the future and this was a flashback, but I don't think so anymore, having seen the scars on her hand where she was restrained. So this must be sometime after, and she escaped and is now trying to find out what happened and why the ship disappeared, why her brother disappeared, and perhaps what her father was up to. But it is clear at this point that, you know, everyone on this ship has a secret that they are running away from, or, you know, something that they're running towards, whatever the case might be. You know, who knew? My initial analysis of the set photos that were released like several months ago were sort of close to being correct. It is in fact looking to be a bit more psychological than anything, but psychological mixed, with some supernatural elements. The quote at the very beginning, I've forgotten it verbatim, but it's bringing to mind the theme throughout Dark, which is what we know is a drop, and what we don't know is an ocean. And it starts off with something similar here, where it speaks about the human mind and how vast it is, compared to the open sky. It's gonna be so good. I'm hoping this is a strong start though. So it feels like it's we're back in the world of Dark. And who knew? Jonas screwed up that world, and he did it again. He traveled this time to a different world and landed on this ship, and it's screwing things up here as well. That's the theory I'm going with. Damn you, Jonas. But we're getting to know the members on the ship, the priest and his brother, supposed priest and his brother, who are running away from something. But given his interaction with the crew, the passengers in the lower decks, I'm assuming he's not really his brother, but perhaps they're lovers, and it's forbidden where they're coming from, and so they're trying to go somewhere where it's not so taboo. So they've really done a good job, giving us just subtle hints throughout for each character. And the woman in the green dress, I don't think we've gotten her name yet, or I might have missed it, but I did say, in my initial analysis, that she's going to be a very, very interesting character, and very true from what we've seen so far. She's traveling with the geisha, or supposed geisha, because it appears she's also that woman is also pretending to be Japanese. So she's traveling with them. They call her Madame or Ma'am or something like that. So either she's in they're in her employ, or she's using them somehow. The woman appears to be practicing her Japanese and saying, the things that she's saying suggest that she's for a client. So I do get the impression that the woman in the green dress is, helping them, but also, getting compensation for taking this woman to whoever that client may be. And her conversation with Mara in the very beginning was quite interesting as well. And she spoke about being born a man, and all these opportunities before them, whereas as a woman, you're shown the world, but you're not necessarily allowed to take part in it. And it was a very interesting conversation, and I'm hoping I'm hoping it's one of many that we'll have with that character specifically, because I'm intrigued to know, having that perspective, but at the same time, she seems to be using the system, as it is, and using these women as well. So quite interesting. We're introduced to Jerome as well, who is our stowaway. Unfortunately, revealed himself at the worst possible time, because he was hungry, of course, because they've been traveling for a bit, and fortunately for him, Oleg didn't rat him out, because it seemed obvious that he wasn't a member of the ship. If he was from the higher class, he probably wouldn't have spoken to Oleg, because they're all horrible people for the most part. And if he was a part of the crew, then Oleg probably would have recognized him. So it's good. It's good. Maybe he's made a friend in Oleg, hopefully. But he got drafted into this mission to go aboard this ghost ship. And who's to say what his fate will actually be now? With Oleg Polak, I think is his name. The crew called him Polak, and he said his name is Oleg. I'm not sure if that's his full name, or he just gave a different name to the crew, because he seems to be trying to get away from something, or at the very least towards something, as well. So that was interesting. What other characters did we meet? The captain the captain, our boy Jonas, who had, well, he seems to be very much of a mystery. We didn't get him until, sometime into the episode. It's clear that he's lost something, and lost appears to be a prevalent theme throughout this. Both he and Mara have a letter that says what is lost can be found, or something to that effect. So I'm curious to know whether whether someone gave these to the people on the crew for them to be a part of this journey, and to lead them here to this point. All the people who have suffered some loss of some kind, I'm not sure. But he stared at a photo of his family, which gave me the impression that something terrible happened to them, and that may be why he's drinking. Initially, I thought maybe he lost his wife at sea, or something to that effect, maybe unrelated to the Prometheus. But when he arrived aboard the Prometheus, he found a garment that I'm guessing has some significance to him, or his family. So I'm now wondering whether his wife was aboard the Prometheus. But if she was, I'm sure if his family was aboard Prometheus, I'm sure his crew would know this, right? Especially his second mate. Because when he said, we shouldn't do this, he was speaking more about protocol and telling the company. He didn't once say, I know your family was on board, but etc., etc., you're putting the other passengers at risk and so on. He didn't say that. He just spoke about protocol. So I'm not quite sure. It could be that the captain's family did in fact disappear, but somehow, this ship, takes you or leads you to things that have been lost at sea or something to that effect. I don't know. I have no idea. We did meet the passengers in the lower decks who, aren't living as good a life as the others up top. One family in particular who was, they were a part of the photo that I did the analysis on some time ago. I'm going to put that up just for contrast, because I want to see what I came close to and the things that I was way off on, but that family in particular, the woman who's pregnant, her mother called it, the child of God, which is interesting. I think my initial theory was that, the child was probably for some wealthy individual, from, where they're coming from. But the fact that the mother called it, a child of God, gives me the impression that she may be of the belief that this is a Virgin Mary situation. And she's probably going to be wrong. Here's my theory. It's that her daughter did in fact, was in fact impregnated by someone who she probably shouldn't have been with. She lied to the mom, and the mom believes that this is some act of God. That's my theory, but we'll see how that plays out. We met her brother, her mom and her dad, who appear to be devout Christians. Didn't even want a doctor to intervene because they felt, they're clearly not, believers in science, or they see it as somehow blasphemous. But she, doctor helped her child, so they're establishing relationships, specifically with Mora and these passengers, and I'm quite fascinated to see where it all goes. The husband and wife, actually I mixed up the husband with the priest at one point to realize that it's a separate person. It's the mustache. The husband and wife who don't really have any love for each other. Well, yeah, I don't even think he loves his wife. I think it's just infatuation. She's an attractive woman, so hey, I'm gonna get married to her, and that's it. And we don't know a whole lot about their backstories yet, save for the fact that they're married and for the wrong reasons. But him, asking, saying to her that, if she could do something more than just lie there. I mean, if she wanted to be with you, then she would do something more. Clearly, if she's not, then it means she doesn't love you. And I'm sure this would have been clear to him before they got married. So, or who knows, maybe it wasn't, but he said it was an arranged marriage. So, what do you expect? It's an arranged marriage. Don't, that's not on her. It's on both of you or whoever it is that arranged this marriage. But I'm gonna guess that the arrangement was maybe for two families to come together. So she's probably from wealth, or they're both from some prevalent, some rich family of some sort. But we'll know more, once we revisit these characters in in the coming episodes. But so far, the acting is brilliant. I was thrown off initially because Netflix, automatically went to English dubbed, and I had to switch that over. No, Netflix, original language, please. But that is one of the things that I said that I was interested about the series. And they did not disappoint, in the original language, and that is what I will be watching the series in. So bear with me, as I get accustomed to this. I'm going to want to see how well it's executed. And we do see different characters throughout on the ship who speak multiple languages. Some don't interact with each other directly, but the little girl, for example, I was wondering when this was announced how exactly this would be executed, because if different groups on the ship speak different languages, how exactly are they going to interact with each other? But some things are universal. One of the things, the conversations that was happening between the priest and his brother, they were speaking Spanish, and he was saying that no one on this ship will understand what we're saying. And it's like, even if you don't understand exactly what the person is saying, you can tell by body language and tone, what they mean. And so it's really fascinating. And when we were introduced to the little girl, whose sister was the one that was pregnant, and the doctor was trying to help, and she was translating for that family. And likewise with the priest and his brother, he was translating between the captain and his brother, who only spoke Spanish. So it's just really fascinating how they're doing it. They're placing key characters in different groups that are able to translate from one language to the other. So very, very, very interesting. And I can't wait to see more of that. The creepy kid and the mystery at the very end. I have no idea what any of that is about, but I am sure it will be fascinating. Theories, I don't know. We had another character sneak aboard the ship, a bug crawling under a door and unlocking it. I don't know what is happening, and I don't know. I don't know, and I love that I don't know. If I was to theorize, I don't know. I need a chart. I did a chart for Dark. I probably need to put something together for this series as well. But we know it's not time travel. It seems to be very psychological. They spoke about the mind and how vast it is, and the captain had a discussion with Mara about the ocean and the depths that have been unexplored by man. What does it all mean? What's this this contraption that the kid gives to Mara? What does it unlock? It's very soon to say. There's no one aboard the Prometheus. There are no bodies, nothing at all. The kid was locked away. So clearly something came aboard the ship. I'm assuming him. And there's obviously more to this child. He's not just a child. He's clearly either been possessed by something, or he is an embodiment or something to tie these two ships together. The ship, of course, wasn't sending the coordinates because the machine was destroyed. So where was the signal coming from? Are they on some other plane? So it may be a case where, okay, it's not really time travel, but the ship is at a specific location, but not at the same time. I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know how they pull that off. What does? Yeah. More theories to come. you know, more theories to come. I'm gonna watch this a few more times, and you know, yeah, and craft some theories of my own afterwards. But that was, you know, one of the things I will say, the score. One of the things that Dark did really great was, you know, not just the score itself, but the, you know, the music that they chose throughout. Some have become synonymous with Dark, you know, even though these songs have been around for a very long time, but they've gotten a resurgence thanks to the series. You've seen that happening a lot lately, even with things like Stranger Things. But for me, Dark was, you know, the one that did that. That did that exceptionally well. I'm not sure if we'll get the same thing with 1899. I haven't loved from the trailer that we did watch. That was the one thing that I didn't absolutely love about the trailer was the music choice. It was better here, but it's going to be tough to find music that coincides with, you know, the time period. And so this is going to be a bit more of a challenge for the, you know, for the whoever is composing for this series, than it was for Dark, and for it to become, for the music to feel relevant to the time, but also significant for the story. It can't be an easy task, especially to follow up on Dark, you know. But the music choice in this was good. The score was great, was brilliant. I love the score. I'm curious to see whether they'll be able to achieve the same thing with the music choices throughout the series as well, though. Yeah. All right, I could go on and speak about this for hours long, but I know, you know, the video's going on very long. So, all right, guys, be sure to post down below in the comments. Let me know if, you know, what your thoughts are on the first episode of 1899, what your theories are so far. And remember to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to support the channel, and I'll see you with the next one.